Welcome everybody to Prenatal Yoga. My name is Selena. So today we're going to start standing in a comfortable position, whatever that is for you. I like to bring my heels a little wider than my hips and plie my toes out. Okay? Just bringing hands to baby. Stand up nice and tall. Imagine your ears are stacked over your shoulders, string pulling you up from the crown of your head. And you can close your eyes if you're comfortable here and perhaps put a gentle sway in through your hips. And kind of like you're rocking baby back and forth. So this is an all trimesters class. And as always with all of my classes, making sure you're moving in a way that serves you right now. Knowing that my cues are suggestions, you can take them or leave them. So let's start by working into our breath. This is our anchor, our starting point, our way of coming inward. So as you inhale, breathing inward, pushing that breath right down to baby. And as you exhale with ease, allowing your lungs to push out every ounce of air. Feeling that ebb and flow of your breath. Making each cycle complete, long, strong. So if at any point during class you feel like you need a little extra release, I encourage you to open mouth, exhale, and force a long breath out, either through a sigh or pursed lips, or whatever other kind of out breath you prefer. This helps to encourage that state of calm and peacefulness in the body. So finding your center, finding your anchor. And take 3 more unhurried, nourishing breaths. Beauty. Coming back into center now. When you're ready, and gently open your eyes, adjusting to the light. Yes, we're going to bring the arms beside us. So coming into our mountain pose now, adjust your feet if you need to. Open up your heart, lift your collarbones up towards the sky. And then we're going to interlace fingers behind, just like this, and lift and open up the heart. So squeeze your shoulder blades together, kind of like they're kissing your spine. You might not get your arms perfectly straight. That's okay. You might not even get a good clasp behind here. That's okay. Other option too is to just bring your hands to your lower back and find that sweet, sweet heart lift. Okay. So opening up. Making sure you can still take a breath here. Good. And then releasing down. So let your shoulders sink. Let them melt away from your ears. Imagine weights are kind of hanging on your hands, bringing your arms down, down, down towards the ground. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, drop right ear to right shoulder. So let your head hang heavy here. Imagine kind of gravity is supporting it. And just notice where you're feeling any sensation. It might be up through the neck and skull, chest, back, arm. Try to keep your shoulders level. Try not to sink the body. Always remember, if you can't take a breath through a shape or posture, then you're too deep. You just need to honor where you're at and adjust. On your next inhale, tune in. Sail up through center. Keep those shoulders low. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Now I want you to take note of that right versus left side. Our bodies are not symmetrical, and day to day it can change. So just notice where you're feeling sensation here and comparing that to the right side. Take big, abundant breaths. Out breath if you need it. And then on your next inhale, sail up through center, still reaching up through tall with the crown of your head. And then exhale, drop your chin to your chest. So keep your shoulders stacked high over your hips. Just the head is coming forward here. All four corners of your feet rooted into the ground. Nice strong foundation so you can tone your thighs, tone your kneecaps if you want to. Big encouraging breath. On your next inhale, come back up through center. Awesome. All right, so if you're not already at the top of your mat, you can come up there now and find your mountain pose. So I'm going to show you from the side view here, mountain pose. So whether you're in your first, second, or third trimester, I talk a lot about alignment, and that's to prepare you for your fourth trimester, which is when after baby is born. So making sure that we stack the ears over the shoulders, okay? Shoulders over the hips, hips over the heels, and then all four corners of your feet rooted equally down into the floor, okay? Now tone your thighs, tone your kneecaps, and this is a big one, blossom your bum. So lengthen the back of your pelvis. Don't tuck the tail under. So this is what happens a lot as you move into the third trimester and you're not aware of alignment. The big belly out front, you kind of compensate for that by thrusting the hips forward, and then guess what happens to the shoulders? They round in too. So to prevent this S-shaped postpartum version of yourself, if you could stand up nice and tall, as you move in to the first, second, third trimesters, you'll be doing yourself a great service for that fourth trimester. All right, can you take a big, abundant breath here? Inhale, exhale. Good. Take your hands to your hips and take a giant step back with your right leg, right back down your mat. So lower the heel. That back toe is facing the top right corner of your mat. Hips and baby facing the front of your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up. We're coming into warrior one. Exhale, bend into your front knee. So this front knee is stacked right over top of your front heel, making sure you're not going over the joint there. So it doesn't matter how deep you come. You don't have to come super deep. What matters here is that we are connecting to our center, our mummy strong, our core, transversus abdominis, the third innermost belly muscle, way deep inside. How do we do that? By hugging the legs towards one another. So imagine you're on a sheet of ice and you would do the splits if you didn't gently hug those bones towards the center line. Good. So reaching up nice and tall as you inhale, and then as you exhale, dive forward. Keep your neck tracking your spine. Sweep your arms back and around. Inhale, right back up through to warrior one. Keep the connection in between your legs as you exhale, ripple forward once again. And then inhale, right back up. Do it one more time, but don't lose sight of that connection between your legs. This will help strengthen your core, preparing you for that postpartum period. Yes. Arms back up overhead for warrior one. And then from here, take your hands to your hips, pivot sideways on your mat. So pivot on your heels. Now you're facing the side of your mat. Plie your toes out. And then here, we're just gonna put a gentle sway into the hips. So I want you to bring your hands to your hips now and kind of feel the pelvis moving. So the bowl here, your pelvic bowl, which is where baby is sitting down, deep down in your womb, is made up of 4 bones, and those 4 bones move, especially with all the relaxin flowing through your body. So see if you can kind of get a feel for that. Your pubic bone right down in front, yeah, moving. Your hip joints on the side, and on the back, that big bone right back here, your sacrum. They all shift and move, and as you're birthing, baby moves down into your bowl, and your pelvis opens up. Yeah, good. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to encourage more opening in your pelvis during this class. Come back in through stillness. So again, feet are plied out. We're going to find a gentle squat now. So keep this nice neutral spine blossoming through your bum. It doesn't matter how deep you come. Just make sure that the toes and the knees are tracking in the same direction. That's really what we want ideally here. All right. Starting by taking the heels of the hands to the top of your thighs, fingers to the inside. Press firmly into the top of your thighs as you inhale, lift your heart up. And then as you exhale, showing you from the side, tuck your tail towards the floor and drop the crown of your head down. Gaze towards baby. Inhale up, heart lift, widen your collarbones. Exhale, round it out. Remember that out breath is available to you whenever you want it. So we're really moving into that pelvic bowl here. As we inhale and come forward, imagine that bowl filled with tea or water. It's spilling forward, spilling out the front. And then as you exhale and round back, it's spilling out the back. Can you kind of imagine that? One more cycle in and out. And then come back up through center. Awesome. Okay, feet parallel to one another. So like you're on train tracks. And then you can take your hands to your hips and give a big circle in one direction and then a big circle in the other direction. Yes. So when our feet are parallel to one another, it creates more space in this area which baby will pass through in your pelvis. Any position where we are drawing our belly towards the floor also helps to encourage a little bit of space. So if you were leaning over your partner, leaning over your counter, leaning over your bed, helps to open up and create a little bit more space in the pelvis. How cool is that? Good. All right, let's pivot forward on the front foot and hop that back foot up and give her a little shake out at the top. Shake, shake, shake. So showing you from the front here. Find your mountain pose. Let's take 3 big nourishing breaths. All right, from your mountain, keep those legs nice and strong, all 4 corners of your feet down. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, grab a hold of the right wrist and then draw yourself over to the left. So making sure you're not putting all the weight in the left foot, making sure both feet are equally rooted here. And here we're just finding a side body stretch, especially if your baby's sitting up quite high, kind of kicking you in your heart. My first baby was doing that the entire time, really high, kicking me right up in here. Then these side stretches are awesome, helping to create opening and a little bit more abundance in baby's home. Good. As you inhale, slowly rise, and then exhale, grab a hold of the opposite wrist and find your beautiful side stretch. So tuning in, each week you do these classes, tuning in to make sure that you can still take a breath in whatever shape you're in. So you may have come really deep in one pose and one shape last week, and then this week you're just not feeling it. Perhaps baby's in a new position, or perhaps baby's grown, and that's okay. We're celebrating those changes in the body. Inhale to rise, and exhale, lower down. Okay, give those shoulders a little shake out. So we're gonna come into eagle arms. I'll show you from the side view here. Bringing your arms out parallel to the floor, cross your left over at the elbows if you can. Keep them high up over your chest and then wind, wind, wind. Seeing if you can bring palm to palm or back of the hand to back of the hand or just any sort of grab or bind that you can here. And then lift your elbows, lift your fingertips up towards the sky. You haven't lost sight of that strong mountain foundation, right? Blossoming your bum, stacking ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Take a big inhale and then exhale. We're gonna sit back like we're sitting into a chair. Yeah, chair pose with the eagle arm. So keep drawing your fingertips up, up, up. And check to make sure that all 4 corners of your feet are still rooted equally into the ground. So equalize the distribution of weight if you need to, if you've shifted all into your heels, which is very normal. Okay, so we're working on that fire, working on building that heat in your foundation. So movement is another key that you want to keep in your back pocket when you're birthing. You want to remember to move around a lot, especially in upright positions like walking, climbing stairs, squatting, really great positions to help encourage baby to get in that optimal position for birth. And so therefore, we need a strong foundation in order to do that. Keep lifting your heart. Yes. And then on your next inhale, come back up through center. And release, 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 release. Give it a little shake. Okay, so back into your mountain. I'm gonna show you from the side view here. Opposite side. Gonna take hands to your hips and take that giant step back with the left leg, coming into our warrior one lunge. So baby facing front of your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, bend into your front knee. So that front knee is stacked right over top of your heel. And remember the most important cue. I don't really care what's going on with your arms or your upper body, but hug, connect here, connecting right to your mummy center strong. Yes, we want a strong core in preparation for birth, not a strong six-pack. So bring your arms up overhead. Breathe. And then flow 3 times with me. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep forward. Arms rotate back. Inhale. Remember, my cues are suggestions. You don't have to flow if you don't want to. Last cycle. And then we'll meet back up in warrior one. Good. Right back up. Arms overhead. And then take your hands to your hips. We're gonna pivot on the heels facing the side of your mat. Okay, so remember we're gonna plie the toes out. Give those hips a little wiggle waggle. Yeah, you feel the pelvis there, all those bones shifting and moving. Awesome. All right, finding that beautiful goddess squat. So gentle squat, gentle bend in your knees and toes going in the same direction. So just make sure the knees aren't tracking too far over the toes. Yeah, adjust the feet if you need to. Making sure the tail isn't tucked under, that you have that nice blossoming of your sits bones going on. Good, and then finding this nice firm compression on the top of the thighs as you inhale. Find your cow. Exhale, round it out, drop your head, big angry cat back. Inhale, back through center and up, open your heart. And exhale, round. So as I said, movement during your birth is really, really crucial to help getting and encouraging baby to move in that optimal position for birth, which is head down with baby's face towards your bum. That's the ideal position, but not the only one, okay? And moving positions every 30 minutes, if you can also help to encourage baby in that position. So don't stay stagnant, don't stay stationary for too long. Every 30 minutes, if your birth partner's in the room, log that in. Help her to move. Last cycle. And then as you inhale, straighten those legs, come right back up through center. Okay, bring the feet parallel. Yeah, and we're just gonna put a sway in the hips, keeping your head in the center line. And opposite direction. Feeling a little bit more opening through the area that baby will move through, which if you like visuals, it's your sits bones and your pubic bone here. That's the area, the opening that baby will move through. So when your feet are parallel, it helps encourage opening down there. Yeah. Okay, good. Hands are on your hips. Pivot your front foot forward. Hop that back foot up and shake her out. Okay, ready for that chair flow? Mountain at the top of your mat. Showing you from the side now. Bring your arms parallel to the floor, crossing right over left this time, keeping them high above your chest. Wrap, 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 as best as you can. And then keep your fingers lifting up towards the sky. Okay. Exhale, settle back into your chair. So imagine like you're actually sitting in a chair and try and sit up really tall. And when you do that, you activate your core. Yeah, that tall alignment comes from your center, that mummy strong. Now check to make sure when you did that, you didn't put all the weight in your heels. Redistribute all 4 corners of your feet. And so you see, I'm always moving. I'm always finding these little micro movements, even in a pose that's still. You don't always have to be perfectly stagnant, like water, right? It's kind of always moving. That's how you want to be for your birth. Moving as much as you can. Unless, of course, you need to sleep, then sleep. But move, mama, move, move, move. Helps baby. Helps your body. Good, one more breath. Remember, we're building that fire. It's all good stuff. And then slowly rise, unwind. Give the hips a little shake, give the shoulders a little shake, and take a stroll to the back of your mat. Okay, genie squat your way down, 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 down. Reaching for the mat when you're ready and coming forward into table. We're gonna come through to our seat and we're actually gonna prepare for Shavasana now. So, if you've done class with me before, you know I always give the contraindication at this point in time to make sure not to do a reverse sit-up to get down. So what I mean is getting down onto the floor for your Shavasana, doing a reverse sit-up. You will contract your six-pack area. Remember I said we don't need strong six-packs. We do need a strong core though. So when we contract the six-pack area, it puts intra-abdominal pressure on these muscles, and the fascia that holds it together, well, it becomes weakened and stretch. And we want to avoid that happening as much as possible. Every mama, pretty much in the third trimester, will get some degree of diastasis. That's okay. We just don't want to make it worse. Okay, so that's why I cue for that. So rather what we want to do, whether you're getting in and out of bed at night, getting down onto the floor for Shavasana, roll onto your side and encourage your way down from your side using your strong arms to then make your way onto your back. I'm going to stay seated. So sitting up, lying down. You can even take me to a bed or a nearby couch if you want to. Just get comfortable. I'm not going to be here for too long. But it's really important to make sure that you do honor the practice and see Shavasana through to the end. So it is very easy to just turn it off. Okay, I'm done. But these classes, as you know, they're much more than just yoga, just the physical asana. So seeing Shavasana through to the end helps to realign yourself for the rest of the day, helps to celebrate the challenge that you just underwent during practice. It helps to close it all off and bring it together. Very important to remain here. Give yourself that praise, that celebration. Recentering and refocusing the brain back inside. And this act in itself is preparation for your birth. So when we refocus the brain, once it wanders, and bring it back, either focusing back on the breath or on the body, or perhaps even on baby, we help to train that brain to stay still. We help to train it to stay focused. And when you are birthing, this is important. We want you, during that active stage of labor, to be able to stay in what's called birthland or birth world, where distractions are mitigated, or if they do arise, you are able to refocus your efforts back inside with baby. Birthing takes a great amount of focus. It is a great challenge. And so your ability to maintain that awareness, that inward focus, now practicing as you lead up to your big day, will immensely help. So for this final minute, it might seem like a short amount of time, but a minute is actually quite challenging to keep your brain focused here in the center, not letting it stray to the past or future. So for this next minute, I will give you in silence. I want you, every time your brain wanders, bring it back. Bring it back to your breath. Bring it back into your body or baby. And refocus. can slowly start to deepen that breath. And perhaps find slight movement in your head, arms, legs. And if you are reclined down, rolling onto your side and pushing your way up slowly through ragdoll into your tall seat, keeping your eyes closed if you can, helping to block out about 30% of distraction to your brain. And coming up into that tall seat, find your center. Thank you so much for joining me here today. The light in me honors and bows to the light in you and those little lights inside of you. Namaste.